Her fingers hovered above the piano keys, trembling, not from fear, but from the weight of eyes upon her. The billionaire smirked, certain this would be a harmless little game. But the moment her hands touched the ivory, the air in the room changed. The room was a cathedral of wealth, gold-framed paintings, crystal chandeliers, marble floors polished to a mirror's shine. At its center stood a grand piano, black and imposing, like a sleeping beast. "You know how to play?" the billionaire asked casually, his tone almost teasing. His friends chuckled, sipping champagne. They looked at the girl standing barefoot on the cold marble, 15 years old, wearing a faded dress that had been mended more than once. She was the maid's daughter. She said nothing, only glanced toward her mother, who stood by the door clutching a tray, her face unreadable. The man waved toward the piano. "Go on. For fun." It sounded harmless, but the way he said it, like tossing a challenge before an audience, made the air heavy. The girl stepped forward. She had never touched a piano like this before, but she knew them. The keys were not strangers to her. She sat, spine straight, eyes still, hands hovering. In that moment, her mind wasn't in the marble hall. She was back in the cramped church basement where she first found an old, upright piano, its keys yellowed and chipped. She remembered sneaking in after sweeping floors for her mother, pressing a single note and feeling the vibration in her bones. She remembered her father, gone now, saying music could speak when words could not. He'd promised her that if she learned to listen, every note would tell her where to go. The billionaire's guests exchanged amused looks. One leaned in and whispered something that made them laugh. She closed her eyes. The room faded. All she could feel was the cool weight of the keys beneath her fingertips. She began to play. At first, it was soft, almost uncertain, a gentle ripple in a still pond. Then, the sound grew. Rich, layered chords filled the air, dancing upward toward the chandelier. The melody swelled, rising and falling like waves under moonlight. The laughter stopped. The clinking of glasses ceased. The billionaire leaned forward, his smirk gone. Every note carried something deeper than music. It carried the weight of hunger, the quiet ache of long nights, the steady strength of a girl who learned beauty in places others never looked. The song shifted, delicate yet fierce. It was not practiced perfection, it was raw truth. She played as if the piano were her only way to speak to the world, and in that room of marble and crystal, it listened. When the final note faded, the silence was heavier than the music had been. For a heartbeat, no one moved. Then, slowly, a woman in the back wiped a tear from her cheek. The billionaire exhaled, as if he'd been holding his breath the entire time. His voice, when it came, was quiet. "Where did you learn to play like that?" Her eyes opened. She looked at him, not with defiance, but with calm certainty. "My father taught me," she said, "and life taught me the rest." In that moment, something shifted. The man who had once seen her as entertainment now saw her as something else entirely, a force he could not measure in money. Her mother's hands trembled as she set down the tray, but there was a glimmer in her eyes that hadn't been there before. Later, guests would tell the story of that night. Not about the champagne or the laughter, but about the girl who sat at a grand piano and made a room full of power go silent. Some would remember her words, "Silence is just music waiting to be heard." Others would recall the way she walked away, not hurried, not hesitant, but with the quiet dignity of someone who had already won. And though the billionaire never said it aloud, he knew he'd been humbled. Not by wealth, not by status, but by the unshakable truth that talent can rise from anywhere, and respect must be given where it's due. Respect does not belong to the rich, the powerful, or the famous. It belongs to the human spirit that refuses to be silent. Sometimes, greatness blooms in the most unexpected places, and when it does, it reminds us of something we should never forget. Dignity is not granted, it is recognized. Wherever you're watching from, share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever seen someone underestimated, only to prove everyone wrong? Subscribe for more stories that honor the quiet heroes among us.